The idea could be anything. It could be everything.
What is Dreams? Well, it's pots of paint, a ball of clay, a games compendium, a music studio, a creative classroom, an animation program, a social network, your first footsteps into game development, and crucially, often incredible. Media Molecule's follow-up to the Little Big Planet series follows its established mantra of play, create and share, but takes it to an all-new level. Whatever path you choose to take, getting lost down it is easily done as new bursts of joy are discovered around every corner. Like a Mary Poppins-esque bottomless bag of creativity, you never quite know what you'll end up playing when booting up Dreams, or what inspiration will be sparked inside you to sculpt, paint or engineer yourself. It's a highly ambitious concept, and one that has been magically brought to life. When starting up Dreams for the first time, you'd be forgiven for not knowing where to start. After a short string of basic yet important tutorials, the most alluring and arguably best place to head is Art's Dream, the 2 to 3 hour story mode created by Media Molecule all within Dreams itself. You follow the titular Art, a down and out musician who's recently abandoned his post as a double bass player in a jazz troupe as he goes slaloming through 3 distinct settings. The trio of plotlines intertwine to tell a surprisingly melancholic and emotionally involving story, and is a much more mature one than seen in previous Media Molecule games. It's a beautifully told tale that isn't afraid to tackle some serious subjects, which it manifests throughout via visual spectacles such as the dreaded Thornbeak, a charcoal-feathered oversized crow that was the source of Art's childhood nightmares. In order to battle those inner and outer demons, you're on the gamut of game genres along the way. There's everything from classic point-and-click adventure to puzzle platforming, some twin-stick shooting, and even a sprinkling of bullet hell. While never providing much of a challenge, Art's Dream does a fantastic job of blending solid combat and puzzles with a compelling plot. Most impressive though are its distinct and varied audio-visual stylings, which acts as a great way to showcase just what is possible with Dream's creation tools. When first casting your eye over Dream's creation suite, it can be a worryingly overwhelming proposition. This isn't a game where you can afford to dive in blind, but after completing the first set of basic tutorials, it all started to make sense. The multitude of multicoloured glyphs that sat on top of the screen soon meant things to me, and I actually found myself enjoying the tutorials rather than them being some tiresome chores as they can often be in other games. The key to this being that even while it's teaching you the basics, Dreams is encouraging you to be creative at every turn, nudging you to simply not follow instructions when building a simple bridge or painting a garden, but teaching you to be willing to put your own spin on it. Controlling Dreams can initially feel unintuitive. I spent a while trying to work out what the best of the 3 different ways to control was for me. The default, which involves using the DualShock 4's motion controls to move my imp, your smiley, colourful cursor, ended up being my chosen weapon after spending time with each. But in truth, I found it hard to find the perfect combination for me. I quickly got more used to the control scheme, the DualShock 4, but never felt I could be as precise as I wanted to with the motion controls when trying to be delicate with a paintbrush. One way to improve this is to use the PlayStation Move controllers, if you have a pair lying around. These allow you to be much more deliberate in your actions, but in turn come with their own unwieldy control scheme that never quite clicked with me. The third and final option is a new addition since early access and means using the DualShock but with motion controls removed, where your imp is moved using the left stick. It allows for small details to be made easier and straight lines to be created with much more ease, but altogether felt like the flowing magic wand-like feel of Dreams was lost. Once I found what felt right for me, I had a go at building something from scratch, which resulted in a series of unsuccessful projects at first. In the days after, however, I felt myself learning and picking up techniques, crucially feeling like I was making progress and never feeling lost. I was by no means creating masterpieces, but I was having a great time doing it, and that's the crucial part. After all, the best part of a Lego set is building it. Otherwise you just buy the toy ready built. For me, it was the painting side of creation I found myself drawn to most in my time with Dreams. There's something satisfying about the way flecks of paint are applied to the screen and vary depending on the angle of your controller and amount of pressure you place on the trigger. By no means will I be in a position to forge any Rembrandts anytime soon, but once again I had a great time using the tools, was not necessarily concerned by my less than stellar results. That's not to say that stunning works of art can't be made in Dreams. The tools are there and there's no shortage of proof that they work. The quality and variety on show when browsing through the Dreamiverse, the server where all Dreams creations are stored, is immediately apparent. It inspired me to persevere and get better where it could feel easy to give up. A bad workman blames their tools, after all. Many will see the prospect of being able to make their own games as the most enticing aspect of Dreams. Never before has this been attempted on consoles, at least not to this level of scale and complexity and open-endedness. Just from a quick browse of the Dreamiverse hub screen, you can see the range of game genres and artistic styles people have already achieved. The level of depth displayed is astounding, and even though you shouldn't expect to reach these heights straight away, it's empowering to know that it can be done. This is where logic comes into play, and things start to get exponentially more complicated. Mercifully, the lessons are taught at a kind pace, and I never found myself lost in the tangle of wires and cables connecting objects together at first. The more ambitious I got, however, the less I started to build from scratch, and started to take advantage of maybe Dreams' biggest asset, that ability to use others' assets to create your own. The shareability of all items uploaded and made public means that you don't have to, nor are you expected to, create a whole game independently from scratch. Alongside a couple of Media Molecule provided templates such as a basic first-person shooter, you can also remix creations by the community. Meaning my first game was a combination of that FPS template, another user's small platforming section, and a gigantic wedge of waxy cheese that I sculpted which rotates when stepping on a button that you can then shoot at. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? It was in this moment that I truly fell in love with Dreams Creation Suite and realised that I could make as weird an experience as possible, and no one was there to say no. Dreams is a kit basher's paradise and a place for worlds to collide in increasingly odd ways. Of course, you don't even have to create anything at all if you don't want to, but instead choose to play, watch and experience all manner of dreams created by others. Surfing through the Dreamiverse of community-created content can become an absolute time suck in the best way possible. Akin to spelunking down wiki holes or losing yourself in YouTube algorithms, you pick a starting point, whether that be something grand like high science fiction, or a more mundane notion like an apple, and before you know it, you've enjoyed a dozen unique games or pieces of art before finding yourself stood inside Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. You may only spend 30 seconds in some creations, but if someone's imagination gets its hooks in you, you might spend 30 minutes exploring another. You never know quite what you're going to get when you dream surf, and that's its unique joy. I've played Babatunde The Father Has Returned, an arena fighter, multiple times due to its fluid feeling movement and dynamic power kick animation, but I've also spent the best part of 15 minutes staring at a fully realised cooked breakfast as my eyes glaze over at the sight of a puddle of baked beans. There's a level of weirdness on offer that you wouldn't normally find on the PlayStation, even in the less trodden recesses of the PSN store. It's these bizarre dioramas mixed with jankier creations that add a sense of charm to Dreams, and often ended up being some of my favourites. It reminded me of browsing through Vine and stumbling across a particularly odd 6 seconds that I couldn't wait to share with others. It's a testament to the tools that Media Molecules provided that all of this is possible, but also to the community of Dreams and their boundless imaginations. The sense of community really is there in the rawest sense of the word. That's clear to see when taking a peek into the genealogy of some of the larger playable projects, such as the Pig Detective series. There are almost micro game studios operating within the Dreamiverse already, with numerous people contributing small pieces to create a more impressive whole. It's that ability to combine and design with others that gives Dreams a genuine sense of community that I can't say I've experienced before in a game. Little Big Planet took baby steps towards a create, share and play ecosystem, but Dreams builds on it in almost every tangible way and feels like a burgeoning social network as much as it does a place to play games. It's exciting to think that there is already so much to see, do and create in Dreams, and it hasn't even really got going yet. Media Molecule has planted the seeds by creating the tools necessary for players to express themselves. It's now up to the community to grow these ideas and help Dreams flourish by creating, sharing, playing and having a ton of fun whilst doing so. It's a cliche, but Dreams really is something that needs to be played to fully grasp an understanding of. It's unlike anything else, an ambitious project that's been expertly brought to life by Media Molecule, and an audacious experiment in game design that gives you endless ways to enjoy your time with it. The creation tools allow for ultimate expression, despite there being a few controller-related challenges to work around, but never enough to deter. The vast range of experiences already on offer via Dream Serving means that no 2 sessions playing it are ever the same. Whether you just want to create, purely play, or get involved in a bit of everything, Dreams offers it all to you. This is one dream I urge you not to sleep on. For more Dreams, check out this video on how it made the journey from simple sculpting tool to what it is today.